got that going. Got to make a note too. We got to make sure to talk to Hung about her trip to KC and how it was at Arrowhead.
Absolutely.
I figure that'll be the first thing, but our stream is live now. I'll just wait for her in a couple more minutes.
Oh, I gotta turn it down.
How was your week?
It's good. If we live, let's go ahead and get it started. I'm sure
Yeah,
Hong will
she'll join
jump
us here
in when she
shortly.
can. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Oh, there she
we are
is. She's
live.
tickling
It's
it
coming
now.
on the stage. Let's go.
All right.
The
Week
star of the
13.
show.
Yeah, how are we all doing mentally, by the way? Are we okay? Did we
Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
question.
I'm. Yeah, go ahead, Hong. Go
No,
ahead.
no, Well, you go ahead. I have to think on this a moment.
Yeah, you know,
She's not ready.
I'm good. I'm good. But we could probably roll back last week's tape
Right?
and just hear a little bit how more cocky, I guess I could say now, I was than I am going into this week after this weekend's game. Um,
Hmm.
it's still anyone. I last week. So just to recap, last week what I said was kind of recanting my previous week's statements where I felt like, well, we were still, one of the best teams in the league. I just felt this year it was more the Bills team, league to AFC at least. It was more their race to lose. Going into this week, I was a lot more confident. I'm like, nah, it's us. It still goes through Arrowhead. Then we faced the Bengals again and lost again.
hmm
0-3. And,
and not
you
just 0
know,
and 3, we're 0 and 3 in 2022 to them too,
2022
which is
Gonna
just
say
wild.
calendar year.
Right.
against Burrow. And, it was kind of a little bit of a kick in the nuts, if I could phrase that so eloquently. Um, that this is still an open race, in the AFC. It's tough right now. We've got some good teams trending up at the right time. So the Bengals are one of those teams. Like they were looking rocky earlier in the year, but their last few weeks they're starting to get back to form a little bit. And I think it showed this weekend. But that's my thoughts.
And one thing that stuck out for me is like last year, obviously their biggest issue was offensive line, and then earlier this year, absolutely was offensive line still. And then of course their offensive line starts clicking once they play us, right? It's just like
Right.
go freaking figure. Man, yeah, no, like you say, it's anyone's thing, but hey, first thing I want to do though, since we have Hung here, we want to hear about your trip. How was it
Oh my
coming
gosh.
back to the homeland?
Yeah, y'all, I missed last week. I apologize. My youngest got sick first, and then my oldest, oh my word, y'all, it was like one after another. And then he got sent home from school on that on that Thursday. And yeah, I was just not catching a break whatsoever. So, and then after that loss, so my mental health is yeah, it sucks balls.
So
Um, Especially coming off of one of my like biggest highs from the previous week, as I'm about to get into here. Thank you for asking.
hmm
Y'all, I had the most amazing alumni weekend I could have ever asked for. This is the first one that I've ever been back to, Cheer Alumni Weekend. I have never been back since I left Kansas City in 2006. I have never once been back for a cheer weekend. It has never worked out. So this was my first one, but this was also the first one in Kansas City Chiefs history where the alumni cheerleaders actually did a performance on the field. Y'all talk about humbling. That cardiovascular activity was incredibly humbling, especially coming from somebody who works out every single day. That was on a whole different level. And I can't believe I used to be like in that sort of shape, that sort of fitness. I'm like, so incredible weekend. Definitely one of the highlights of my non-mom life. And it was just amazing. It felt like home, and it felt like Arrowhead is such Oh, it's amazing. It's so amazing. And yeah, it just felt so good to be back. Um, yeah, y'all, just incredible experience. I wish, like, I still don't have words.
It's just that
And
good.
I like words. So yeah, it was just amazing. I had an incredible weekend. Glad we won. I didn't get to watch, when you come to do these types of things and whatnot, you miss good chunks of the game, of
Right.
course. So I didn't get to watch all of the game, of course, but it was still so fun. It was so fun. It was great to be right there watching the game, waiting for my turn to get assembled for the performance and everything. It was top notch. Very, very amazing.
That's awesome. No, I'm glad you're back. To me, the most important question though is how was Joe's? Did we enjoy it? Everything you remember?
Y'all, it was, oh gosh, never disappoints, ever disappoints. I even brought home a pound of burnt ends for the
Oh,
boys and I
yes.
to enjoy
Yeah, you
after the
got to.
fact, right? Had to. So barbecue was delicious. The city, and of course, went down to the plaza and everything, but just driving around the city, like that old Brookside area and Ward Parkway, down by the plaza area. Gosh, I
Yeah,
just love driving and looking at those homes and like their huge front yards and yeah, it
it's
was just,
awesome.
yeah, it didn't disappoint, that's for sure. It was all the nostalgia feels being back in Kansas City.
It's great. No, I'm glad you were able to make it. And of course, I had perfect timing too for the plaza with the lights up already and all that good
Oh, okay,
stuff.
hold on. Time
Okay.
out though.
Okay.
Perfect timing, yes, and that's exactly what I thought with, we
Uh-oh.
met a couple of friends down at Grand Balloon. Of course, that was the night it was raining cats and dogs.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Of course,
That's
right? So we did that was Saturday. So we had the stadium tour, we went to rehearsal, had a cocktail party up at the stadium afterwards, alumni happy hour. I'm like, sweet, and then Grand Balloon on the plaza after this. It's gonna be beautiful. It starts raining during the alumni cocktail hour, and I'm like, that looks like it's raining really hard. It was. And it continued. And it was I didn't get to enjoy the lights on the plaza because I
oh,
couldn't
because
see
it's
through the rain and I was
and
soaking wet.
I
But
can back you up 100% here because we were downtown hitting one of those like holiday cocktail theme bars or whatever,
yeah.
and like I mean yeah, it was legitimately raining so hard that I mean even driving was awful. And driving to Missouri
Uh-huh.
is always
Driving was
awful,
awful.
but yeah, and yeah, God forbid you could see even a single Christmas light. That was an
Oh,
insane rainstorm that you came in just in time for.
I
That's
just
for
could
sure.
not believe it. Could not believe how bad it was raining, how much rain was coming down. I was like, this is not fun.
Right.
No, no, no.
Yeah, and of course, and then of course, ever since you've left, we haven't had a drop of rain since. So you brought it
Oh,
with you
right.
and
And
you
it's
took it with you.
beautiful and mild.
Right.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I
You're
think I
so
walked in
welcome.
shorts yesterday, December, and I'm still walking around in shorts sometimes.
When aren't you in shorts, Billy?
Oh, I know. I know.
Okay, so.
No, you're right. You're right. You got me. Oh man.
But yeah, y'all, one of these days, we are gonna have to circle a game where we're all together. And I can't wait for this. So that'll be a whole lot of fun.
We've got to make that happen. Absolutely.
We do.
And I
We
mean,
definitely do.
I'm more than happy to offer even my own house up for, staying to save the money there if y'all need, because we got that guest bedroom, we got a couch that's wonderful to sleep on. It's
Love it.
yeah, so we'll make that all happen. We'll get it coordinated and gotta drag y'all up here for something and
Right?
get us to a game, get us to some tailgates, do some fun stuff there. Of course, I mean soccer
Exactly.
specifically. We can worry about the Chiefs, whatever. It's fine. No,
But you
we'll
know
have to.
what? Soccer gives us many more opportunities to
It's
find a
true.
date, right?
It's
Because
true.
there are a lot more games. So there's that too.
And cheaper.
And that too.
Cheaper.
Yes, exactly.
I
I'm
was
like,
I'm
deal.
I was looking at some like tickets to a game, just in case. 'Cause typically, like we got some cousins that come in from California around Christmas every year, and we
Yeah.
like to go see a game with them if we can. And I know
So you
probably going
looked
to be
at
in
Chiefs Seahawks.
Wisconsin, but yeah, we were like looking
Mm,
around that time frame, one of those last home games of the year, and I'm just no, it's just man,
no.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
the one good thing I can say about that era in the early 2000s, late 90s is it was cheap going to games. It
Yeah.
was easy.
Weren't tickets like, I don't want to quote this wrong. Weren't tickets like $75? You could
Oh,
get tickets for
easily.
$75. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I remember those days.
And that's
Uh-huh.
just not the nosebleeds either. Yeah, I mean, you could get some pretty
Exactly.
good seats for it. I mean, I was just thinking about this the other day because, like, this year not only do we have the maximum number of primetime games that we can get, but we've gotten a lot of
Hmm.
those, whatever they call it, America's Game of the Week, that,
Hmm.
nationally broadcast slot at 3:30 or whatever it is. I was just
Right.
thinking, it's like, man, it wasn't even like 10 years ago that we were having blackout games where we couldn't even watch the games in Kansas City. And I just
Which
like,
blows my mind.
yeah. I'm just sitting here like, wow, I mean, I remember those things. It's like that's how recent it's
Yeah.
been, and I never understood blackout games now, and now the thought of a blackout game here in KC is just absolutely wild. So hopefully we
Right.
can, yeah, make something happen with all of us. I do have to ask
That would
though,
be great. It's,
uh,
yes.
I do have to ask about the airport. Thoughts? Did you see any of the construction going up? Because I assume you
So it
flew
was
into
dark.
KCI.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was dark when I flew in and it was dark when I flew out. But I did see, like, I got to get a glimpse of the parking structure connected to where the new airport looks like it's going to be and everything. It looked beautiful. My question is, like, how soon is that supposed to be up and operating? And then what are they going to do with the current terminal?
So all of them are getting torn down. They've already torn
Okay.
down the Terminal A in order to put in that, but yeah, they'll be expanding the
Ah,
airport out to like start encompassing those other places. It's just they're trying to get to a point with the existing structure so that it can start functioning, and then they'll start taking down the old ones, is my understanding.
I see.
And so it's just going to be all one
Well,
terminal kind of deal.
it looks beautiful. The brand new one where A used to stand then, it looked really state of the art and brand new and shiny, of course, like it is. So I did not get to see it during the day though, sadly. So
Well, we'll have to look forward to the reporting there. I mean, I'm going to miss the old. I love the old layout. I love that I could get out of my car
it's
and walk
easy.
straight to the gate, pretty much.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I also understand all the benefits that are going to come from having a better structured environment there, especially if I'm waiting for a flight and want something like food, or to go to the bathroom
Oh
without
gosh.
having to go through TSA every single time.
Exactly,
That'd be
exactly.
good.
So those benefits will be good. Speaking of airports, though, I will have to give it to Denver's airport. I was there for a good chunk of hours during my layover
Hmm.
from Reno to Kansas City, laying over for 4 hours. My
That's
gosh.
unreal. What
It
was the
is
layover longer than
crazy.
the actual flying? I gotta imagine, yeah.
I believe it was actually. It was about, or it was about equivalent. You know what I mean? Like something so silly because that's just how air flight patterns happen now anymore. But the newer part of the Denver airport, holy cow! Like the all the modular seating you can think of, comfort, lighting, ambiance, atmosphere. Holy cow! It was just beautiful. Just I was like, wow, this is like bougie airport waiting room area. So it was amazing, like
This
immaculate, just beautiful.
this is what a nice airport feels like. All right.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, you could sit like comfortably. It looks like a booth seating with your laptop and work or rehearse your routine that you don't have yet 100% down. I mean, it was got big kudos, Denver Airport.
All right. Well, hey,
Yeah,
there it is. All right.
there it is.
Sounds
So
like a great
yeah,
trip.
thank you for taking me back to a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weekend in my life. Mental health was A plus that weekend. So, but here we
So
are
should we
back to
go ahead and
reality.
just skip talking about the game this week then, so we don't crash it back
Oh,
down for you? Is that what we
but
need to do?
well, but the reality of it, we still got to discuss a couple things, as noted on your beautiful slide that you
I
put forth
honestly
together there
kind of
for us.
ran out of motivation writing the slide too. I was just like, I don't want to relive that game at all. All right, here's 4 bullet points. We're gonna call it a day, and I
It's
just moved
tough.
on.
It is
That was a
tough.
rough one.
And y'all, yeah, let's talk about it a little bit. Let's discuss it a little bit because there
Please.
are parts where like I hate and I don't love pinpointing something that sealed the fate of the game on one player specifically. But I felt like in this instance that happened during this game for us. And so, yeah, let's talk through some of these things.
Yeah. All right. So what do you got then? Who do you put? And I mean, not saying that they're the sole reason at fault, but who's the individual to you that just didn't deliver this past weekend?
And by no fault of his own. I mean, they removed him from the game, Travis Kelsey,
Travis Kelsey.
for his no, like he had some receptions, he had some yardage, but it was very, very, very little production. And then I felt like the play that kind of sealed our fate. And I think everybody collectively across Chiefs Kingdom, when it happened, we were like, oh, just like groaning in pain. But when they punch the ball out from him, and
Uh-huh.
he thought he was down already, but he wasn't down, and we turned the ball over. I felt like in those minutes left in the game, that was just an incredibly pivotal point and really sealed that for us, sealed our fate at that moment.
It just kind of felt like the air being taken out of the tires, you know? It was like
Hmm.
it didn't necessarily like end the game because what that was about a little bit through the third quarter or something like that. So it wasn't the direct play that ended the game by any means, but it was
Hmm.
the game that defined the rest of the game, or the play that defined the rest of the game. It felt.
Right.
To your point, yeah, he had 4 receptions and 56 yards. I feel like most tight ends in the NFL would be very happy with that stat line. Travis Kelsey,
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the worst games of his career almost. That's not great. And I think it was, and I mean, don't quote me on this, but I think it was the first time he's ever been held without a reception and a half in a game that he was playing 100% healthy.
Hmm.
And the first half of the game, he didn't have a single reception. It wasn't until the second half that he was able to get one out there. So that's tough. And the funny thing is, like this, I think going into this game, he was something like 80, 82 yards away from setting another tight end record.
Yeah.
And of course, of course, he just gets held um, just short of it. So next week, fingers crossed, he of course eclipses that mark. I think it's like fastest to 10,000 yards or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but you're right. They had the formula together to take him out of the game. If I'm remembering correctly, the Titans did that very well as well, and they
Yes.
almost beat us. It's what the Colts did incredibly well against us, and of course they beat us.
Hmm.
And I don't remember the Bills quite doing it. The Bills just beat us straight up, heads up. But yeah, pretty much like 2 of our 3 losses plus one of our tightest games. You sell out against Kelsey, and it's probably the one factor here where we can say we honestly do miss Tyreek Hill because teams couldn't do
Hmm.
that in the past. Teams couldn't sell out for Kelsey because if they did, then Hill would just burn them, and vice versa.
Right.
Um, Now we do have plenty of great receivers on our team, but none of them quite measure up to what Hill provided to our team, or we're not quite
Yeah.
that perceived danger, I guess, that Hill was. Once the guys like Juju, MVS, Sky, so on, start to fill into that role, then things may change quickly. But right now, defenses can sell out to stop Kelsey, and then just hope the one-on-ones with the rest of our receivers are good enough to hold us. I mean, we're 9-3 for a reason still, but that's definitely one factor where I feel like we can say we do miss Tyreek Hill.
And I
Hmm.
would, to add to your point, I would also say just getting healthy too. We're still not 100% healthy in our receiving core, right? Like we still don't have
Hmm.
McCole. Juju's not okay, guys. Like I know
Juju's still rough, yeah.
yeah, he's still
And then
banged
that
up.
that hit that he took in the
Mm-hmm.
third, was it the third or fourth quarter? I like audibly would, oh,
Blue tent,
like, mm.
blue tent.
Yeah, he's still not okay. You're absolutely right on that observation.
Yep. And so yeah, just getting. I mean, and then we signed Tony. He's healthy for what, a week, and then now he's
Ugh.
out for who
He,
knows when.
he makes that
Like,
Ugh.
joke. He makes that joke run into the end zone, acting like his hamstring was hurt. As a part of his little celebration. First
Mm.
touchdown scored for the Chiefs.
Hmm.
Next week he
it
can't even
was a
play
damn
because his
Andy.
hamstring's hurt. I'm like, dude.
Yeah,
Karma is
a little
the
bit.
real
Like
deal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, like you said, I still, and that's why I guess I don't go as far as missing Tyreek just yet as to just like just being banged up because I still think when we got our guys firing, we can make some plays against really good teams. It doesn't matter who it is. So,
Well,
hopefully,
I think the one
uh,
stat though that does kind of say, lean a little bit on that missing Tyreek is the past 3 years we led the NFL in 20 plus yard plays. This year, I don't think we're even in the top half of the NFL. And so
mm,
while our players are still able to make plays, we're making those 10-yard, 15-yard, 7-yard, those kind of plays, which are incredibly good. There's nothing wrong with making those kind of plays. And lots of teams find incredible success with that kind of program. It's just we went from being a team that could burn you for 20 plus yards every other play because of, Tyreek's unique capabilities to a team that relies on having the ball a little bit longer because we have to take those chunks out in 7 and 10 and 15-yard increments instead of 20, 30, 40, 60-yard increments, right?
sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. Health concerns are king there. If Juju's 100%, if Tony's there playing like he was playing that one week he was on fire, if, MVS is able to show up the way that he has proven he can. If all those guys are firing on all cylinders and Mikol's out there too, I totally almost forgot about him.
Hmm.
That
Right.
changes, that changes everything. So I think you're absolutely correct there.
I gotta say, and I know he's my avatar and everything, but that Tony deal ain't looking too good right now, especially with the way our defense kind of played. And I know
Hmm.
that's one of the, if that's the next point, if we're going to jump into that, yeah, you said one sack. Guess what? You know who that sack wasn't? Who
Hmm.
didn't make that sack? I mean, we know who did. It was Carlos Dunlap, but
Hmm.
Frank Clark has been 0 sacks in the last two games.
Last 2 games, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Chris Jones, MIA, defense. What's
Our
up?
defense it was very, they were extremely missed this last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see them playing at the level that was very exciting in the weeks leading up to these last two games.
Yeah,
So I felt like that was extremely problematic in this game, and it reared its head for sure. It
for
reared its
sure.
head, and I know, yeah, Carlos had an amazing play where he anticipated and got through there, and made a huge stop, but yeah, we lacked defense. Really, 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 really. Just we weren't playing at the level that we had been seeing.
Yeah, and just yeah, to your point, and not even just on the front line, the secondary. I mean, you got
Hmm.
these guys playing man against Jamar chasing these boys, like they're just a
Tyler
little bit
Boyd,
better.
dude. Yeah, Tyler Boyd was
Yeah,
even
Yeah,
torching
Tyler
us pretty
Boyd.
well. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's
absolutely.
and
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, and I was just saying, like, and Joe Mixon didn't even play.
Yeah, that's the scary
You
thing
know what
for
I
me.
mean?
Yeah.
That's exactly. And I had made a note of that when you were talking about something earlier in the conversation. But I was like, they showed up to play. They beat us three times in one calendar year. And Joe Mixon wasn't even available and healthy to play because he is scary. He's good.
He is absolutely. No, it's just one of those weird things, where I'm not ready to quite make the comparison yet because it hasn't happened in as many important games, but it's almost starting to feel like this is less what we would call the Josh Allen and Mahomes is equivalent to the Manning and Brady. This is starting to
Hmm.
feel now like instead of Peyton Manning, Joe Burrow's Eli Manning to Mahomes being Brady, right? Like
Hmm.
okay, Eli's showing up and beating Mahomes specifically,
Mm,
right? Whereas like Peyton Manning would beat the rest of the NFL, and then there was always a great rivalry between him and Tom Brady, and then Joe Burrow shows up to beat Patrick Mahomes, and it's working
sure.
because I mean I think there are three quarterbacks in the NFL that have beaten, or sorry, two quarterbacks that have beaten Mahomes three times, and it is of course Joe Burrow and Tom Brady. Um,
Right.
Right.
so it's kind of crazy to see that a little bit of connection going on there. He's also just a flat good player. The way he was running the ball, even on some of his scrambles, I'm just like yelling at the
Yeah.
TV, like just hit him. I mean, just like
Right.
somebody do something. Like, why is there no one
Hmm.
around to take this dude out?
Right.
Um, yeah,
Well, Frank Clark, they interviewed Frank Clark, the guy who didn't get any sacks, but they did. They interviewed him, and I mean, he makes a good point where Joe Burrow, he's got that baby face, but that man is 6'4", and he's elusive too. So it's just like he's a big dude out there
He's a
doing these
killer.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just you see that Shannon Sharp earlier today that they say you see that Home Alone face and it disarms
That's
you. But
funny. It
yeah,
is. Yeah, that's so right. I forgot about those memes about
yeah,
him versus Macaulay Culkin.
right. But boy can ball. Yeah, it was yeah, it was a rough one, and I do like your comparison. I think he's better than Eli
Oh,
Manning, of course,
100%.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
but just having someone's number like that, yeah, that's straight spot on. And I think last week, just to kind of further the comparisons. Remember last week, I think I was talking about like the Last Dance or whatever. That
Mhm.
if we're the
Yeah.
Bulls, I think I maybe said the Chargers are the Knicks.
I think you
But
said the
these
Bills were the Knicks, yeah, or
the
something
Bills
like
are the
that.
Knicks,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. But if I could go back to that, the Bengals are definitely the Pistons. They're the
Yeah, I
bad
was
boy
I was gonna say,
Pistons,
who are the
man.
Pistons? Okay,
yeah,
They're the
okay,
yeah.
bad boy
fair.
Pistons, man. If we're the Bulls, they're the bad boy Pistons because they just, man, they just got us. They just got us, man. Like
Well,
so, it's
and you can
something we
even
definitely got to
tell
figure out.
you can even tell with how the players are interacting with each other too. It's not a friendly rivalry. And I know we've talked
No,
about this already, but
No.
it is. I mean, there's John going on. I mean, there's just all kinds of talk and
Well, and with all the crap talking on social media
that
leading
too.
up into it, I just was like, really? And we came out and did this for real?
Or
Come
yeah,
on,
this is
y'all.
how we showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh, but yeah, you're right. It's a chippy competition.
it is. I will say the one positive though that I feel like we could pull from that game was definitely a run game. It's multiple weeks in a row now. I can't say enough about Pacheco.
Yeah.
He's doing great, but not just him. McKinnon showed up huge as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Sure did.
So it's kind of funny that yeah we're talking about a team with Patrick Mahomes, Juju Smith, Schuster. We got Travis Kelsey on it, all these outstanding wideouts and whatnot. And the highlight of our team this past week was our run game, without a doubt. In my mind,
Mm-hmm.
one of the other touchdowns we scored too is Patrick Mahomes rushing. I mean that
Yeah.
just like play where I'm just like, oh dude, that's you're putting your $500 million on the line there with that kind of thing.
Yeah, talk about basketball and the last
Right,
dance. Come
right.
on.
That was crazy.
Whew.
About lost
That
it.
was a little
that was
crazy.
so cool though. The jump man,
It
he did the
was.
jump man.
Yeah.
I literally texted my friend. I was like, the jump man,
Man.
like in the middle of the game, and yeah, he still puts on. Mahomes is so cool, man. Like you just gotta like, dang man, like it's like we're witnessing this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's just cool to watch. Even in a loss like this, he does some crazy stuff. Like it just reminds me of like that sideways pass that wasn't in the Super Bowl
Hmm.
against the Bucks. It's like who does stuff like this?
Yeah.
Patrick
Our
Mahomes.
quarterback.
It
Yeah.
was nutty.
Yeah. Have a baby a week ago, play in a game, do the jump man.
I
I
mean, he
mean,
ain't have the baby, so it's like,
no, he did not. But his
He was a passive
family.
participant.
Exactly, exactly. So, but yeah. Oh, and I will say, along with like the jump man in there, oh, Isaiah Pacheco, when he tried to hurdle, I'm like, you could not be doing that,
That's
child. No,
please stop.
no, no, child, no. Keep your feet on the
that
ground. You do no.
that
Mm-mm. You're
failed.
too small.
That
No.
failed. That
That
failed
yeah. I'm
pretty
like,
hard.
no, 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 no.
I was actually that was like one portion of the game I was missing on the TV. I was running out to get us dinner, and I was listening to it on the radio. And Mitch Holtis was just, I mean,
Hmm.
just ribbing him on it. So funny. He's like, he's not going to try to do that again. I'm like, oh man, I'm sad I missed that hit, but it's
Yeah.
just absolutely hilarious to hear it described. And yeah, it turns out you can't hurdle someone that's standing up, right? You just can't do that.
Oh,
Can't assume everyone's going to go for your legs. That's for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
So.
I don't know if there's much else to talk about when it came to this game. It's just, like you said earlier, it's just failure on multiple fronts.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, just the one sack. Our secondary just failing on the defensive side. Offensively, we can barely get Kelsey the ball, and even when we do, he's still fumbled it. I
Hmm.
mean, when the when the one good thing that goes right with the Chiefs' offense this year is our run game, we're not in a healthy spot. That's for sure. But I don't. Do you all have any other thoughts? Final things there? Are the Bengals a bigger threat to us than the Bills? I guess would be my question.
You know, I sorry. Sorry, I had to get
Lost the
my mic
microphone.
closer. Yeah. I kind of say yes, to be honest. Like, we haven't figured them out. I'm confident that we can beat the Bills, in a head-to-head matchup. I'm pretty confident that we can figure out against them. I think we have the ability to figure out to beat the Bengals, but we just haven't really figured it out yet. And would I want to see them in the playoffs? My competitive nature, I like that type of stuff. I want the best. I want to go head to head. I want our team to face the top teams or whatever. It's more exciting that way.
Mm-hmm.
Am I confident that we'll beat them a fourth if we face them a fourth time this year? Right? Well, I guess it would be next year, it'd be 2023. But in this season, we face them another time.
Right.
I don't know. I can't definitively say yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right
I
now.
can't confidently say yes either. I feel like we're going to see them in the playoffs again here soon. And I hope to God that we are ready and that we come to play and that we are dialed in, because a fourth loss, I can't do it.
No. I would
Like,
not be mentally okay. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I would not be. Like, I would feel like the awkward middle school years. I would be awful. It would be awful.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just the last thing I want to is just, the people to pile on, like, oh my God, the Bengals, and Bengals fans are starting to come out of the woodwork a little bit on the Twitter, and Joe Burrow fans, and just
Look, if you're not like that girl who had wisdom teeth removed, you're not it. She's fandom. I have total respect for her, and how much she loves her team and everything, and how much respect she has for Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, the rest of y'all, nope,
Nope. Audi.
fake fans.
Love it.
So, but yeah, I can't confidently say that. Yeah, we've got them this time because I thought we were gonna have them this time. So there's that.
There's that. All
I
right.
felt good about it. Yeah, I felt good. I felt good about it going in, but yeah, just didn't get it done. Yeah,
No.
we'll have to see where we go from here.
All right. Rest of the league. Lions. How about them Lions?
Bruh, you called that.
40
You
to
called that.
14.
I'm pretty sure
Wow.
that's in the receipts. I'm pretty sure that's in the receipts.
It
But
is.
Billy
Yeah.
last week said, I remember because we were talking about the games we're keyed in on, and he said, I think the Lions are going to give us something this week or something along those lines. And sheesh, yeah, they did.
They
They
did.
did.
Wow.
It's broke clocks right twice a day, right? Eventually, if I keep saying their name, they'll do something for me there. But yeah, I mean, I was impressed by them. Every aspect of their game was just unreal, and did a really, really good job. Now, I mean, okay, we can say they play against Jags, but I think Jacksonville is better than their record really does indicate.
Yeah,
And
that's the thing. I did think Jacksonville was better, like you're saying. And so I thought it was going to be at least a closer game.
yeah, it just ended up. I think it was one of the things that it just quickly got out of hand.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a case of like just pure outclass. It's just okay, just the series of events where that happens in some of these professional sports games where it's like nobody's playing bad. It just bad things are happening. That's what it felt like from what I captured about the game. I didn't get to watch it live or anything. I saw the highlights. I saw the game reports on it. They're just firing on all cylinders, and wow.
It definitely makes Baltimore look a lot worse. Which I
I
mean, they
just
got an injury right now too. So, injury to Lamar, so that's even more painful. But just even before that, it's like, yeah, they're not the Baltimore they were the last couple years.
absolutely. And speaking of Baltimore, do we want to talk about them in their game against Denver? Skip down to point number 4.
Oof.
It cracks me. It cracks me up that Denver still sucks because they couldn't even beat a Baltimore without Lamar
Yeah, without
Jackson.
Lamar.
They lost that game 10-9.
Right. I was gonna say still no touchdowns for Russell Wilson, right?
I I think it's going to get to a point where like Chiefs could almost outscore them in like, 3 games, then, Denver will score all year. Like they are just not putting anything on the board whatsoever. And so I really can't wait for this coming weekend, that's for sure. And that'll be one of our previews, no doubt about it. But man,
Tough, tough.
it's going to be a good game for us to bounce back again. That's for sure, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
we need it. We need
we
it.
need it. We need it for sure. Jets Vikings. I did get to watch this game. And this was,
Hmm.
I think, my favorite game of the week coming into this week, was the one I definitely really wanted to watch, and it was. In my opinion, I know the scoreline was still a little low, it's 27-22, but I think it delivered on all fronts. It had everything in it that I was really looking for. There was definitely a lot of struggles coming from the Jets offense, which I think after last week with the way White played, we didn't quite expect. There's a lot of miscues between him and the receivers, everything going on, a little bit of confusion left and right. But overall, the fact that they were able to take the Vikings to 27-22, and it really did come down to like the last drive of the game with the Jets having the ball. Always a lot of fun to watch. So I enjoyed that one a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know how much of that one I caught too much. I think that was part of the earlier games, right? Like
Yeah,
the,
that was a noon
the
game.
12
That was
o'clock.
the Kirk Cousin 1 p.m.
Sure.
1 p.m. Kirk
Well,
Cousins.
the 1 p. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins versus Mike White, and they were
Right.
comparing it to Brady Manning.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh, so funny.
yeah. I had Red Zone on for that, so I saw highlights. But yeah, that was also a good game, and yeah, Vikings are they're a good team. They're a good team. It's fun to watch them.
They're they're one of 3 teams, and we'll talk about this on our next slide. They're one of 3 teams that have a chance to lock in a playoff spot this coming weekend. So it'll be really, really interesting to see what happens there.
Absolutely.
And you want to talk about a game though that really put some points on the board, since we were talking about a little low on the Vikes Jets. The Lions, okay, got 40. Denver not even
Hmm.
able to break the double digits. The Cowboys.
Crazy.
The
Oh my
Cowboys.
God.
Raw, how
So
unbearable
Rayo,
is it
next
right
favorite
now?
team. Mhm.
yeah,
How
they think
unbearable
yeah.
is it right now in that area?
Well, the thing about that is, I mean, let's be real. They were playing the Colts, y'all. They
Yes.
were playing the Colts. This
The
that's
Colts beat us. Hello.
they
Did
did.
not have, but they still beat us.
They did, but then they lost to who they lose to? The Steelers a couple last week
Yeah, like a
on
couple
Monday
of weeks
night.
ago, last week, yeah.
Yeah, it's just no, I'm not no. We they lost they beat us because we beat us.
We beat ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Sky Moore
But
muffed a punt. That's what happened.
yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I went to, so this is just a real quick Roz old story. I went out on Saturday night. I
Oh
don't really
no.
do like clubs or stuff anymore. But I went out Saturday night.
I love stories that start this
Yeah.
way, by the way.
Right.
Well, no, I mean it's not that crazy, but went to bed maybe like what 4 a.m. Woke up again at like
Oh
7.
my Lord.
Went about my day. Stayed awake long enough to watch the Chiefs L, and then I barely made it through the first quarter of the Cowboys before next thing I knew, I was just waking up the next day, and I was like, "Oh, what happened?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like when I went
Hmm.
to bed, it was something like 19-10. I don't even remember what the score was, but then I woke up to 54. I was like, "Is that a typo? Wait a minute,
Yeah,
what?"
there's no way. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
do that, did they? That's
yeah, but.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. But, that's not the biggest talk. I think the big hype around here is still the Odell Beckham thing. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens with his free agency. He made his visits in the Dallas area
This week,
this
right?
week. And I
Yeah.
believe
On
he's
Monday?
already
Yeah.
I believe he's already visited the Bills. Is that right?
Hmm.
That sounds right,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which
I think I was gonna say I think we're still on the list somewhere. I don't know if we want him,
no,
but
yeah.
it's interesting the hype around him regarding that. And then people were thinking, oh, well, after what we did with the Bills, we did against the Colts. We get OBJ. I'm like, y'all ain't doing this against other teams. I'm
Right,
like,
right. You
this
got
is
lucky. You got Jeff Saturday, who's
yeah,
coaching, yeah, the Colts that
this
don't
wasn't
have
supposed to
Darius
happen.
Leonard. Like, congratulations.
Exactly.
Well, and part of me is thinking though, it's like, do they really even need OBJ? Like, okay, I'm sure Jerry Jones is over there licking his chops, thinking about all the jerseys he's about to sell. But, I mean, I almost feel like watching that team. It's not OBJ that they need, right? Like the CD's great. Tony Pollard's just come out of nowhere this year and just been a stud for them. I feel, and Zeke can still do Zeke things every once in a while. Schultz is fine. I don't.
They're a good team.
Yeah.
I still think it's especially in that division, anything can happen, and I still think it's obviously the Eagles are, you know, top of the class in the NFC
Hmm.
right now, and I don't think the Cowboys are as good as the Eagles. So it would have to
No,
take
not
Right.
a
anywhere near.
yeah, it would have to take some mistakes on that side of the ball for me to think that the Cowboys have like a real chance. But they're good. No, they're good. They've been playing well. They have a week schedule coming down the line. It could be interesting for. I'll definitely be keyed in. I'll say on that Christmas game, Eagles Cowboys.
Well, and hey, as long as we're talking about the NFC East, do we tie?
Yeah.
I Okay. I mean, I correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there've been this many ties in a single season,
Oh
right?
my God.
And I mean,
Right.
the Giants Commanders tying
I
at
forgot.
20.
Oh my God.
Man, I'm just like at this point, I think it's just almost a contractual obligation to have one tie a week. It seems because so many
Yeah.
teams are out there with just ties on their schedule, and I was looking at the permutations for how teams can lock in a playoff spot this week, and at first I was just this coming week, and I was just writing off the fact because it always says the blah 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 gets a win or a tie, and they win. I'm like, well, nobody's getting a tie. It's NFL, nobody's getting a
Oh,
tie. And
and
then I
that,
think about
yeah.
the fact that it's like 5 games I think so far this year have ended in ties. Like, shoot, I I would be one of the most amazing things if a team locked up a playoff spot this coming week because they tied a game.
Due to a tie.
I would love that
Hey,
so much.
hang on tight. You just don't know
It's
how
gonna
things shape and how they crumble.
uh,
It
Mm-mm.
needs to happen now.
absolutely. Um, but yeah, I watched a little bit. I caught some of the highlights at this one while the Vikings Jets were on. I have no idea what's happening. I don't know. The Commanders are just playing better than I ever thought they would this year. And of course, the Giants are surprising us with the record that they have, and being studs in their own right. But it just really feels like the last 6 weeks, the Commanders have kind of come out of nowhere and just like really started to dominate. The
I
NFC
think
East is just incredible.
I
It's
think
insane.
dominate is strong, but
Okay,
they are playing really
they are
good.
playing really good.
They remind me of if I could, go back to the Chiefs, our team here, the when that team we started 9-0, the Chiefs with Alex Smith.
Mm,
They're kind of like that team. Like they've got what's his name, Heineke. Like yeah, he's
uh-huh.
all right. Like he can help you win games, but they got like one good receiver. You know, and they're just kind of getting through this schedule, winning games they're not supposed to win. So it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, they're winning by not losing kind of thing. They're not beating themselves just like the Chiefs
Yes,
do, and that's how we have those 3 losses. It feels we beat ourselves. That's the opposite. Commanders are doing everything but that, and it's winning them games. That's just not how you win in the postseason. So if they do make it to the postseason, which it blows my mind as a possibility that the Washington Commanders might be in the postseason, right alongside like teams like the New York Jets. It's just like, man, the
How
NFL's
wild.
really turned around. I just can't imagine them getting past Wild Card Weekend. So even if they're hosting a game, which they won't be. So all right. Any other games this week that catch your eye? I know the one we haven't talked about is the Brown revenge game, the AJ
I
Brown
was
revenge
just
game.
about to say. I was like, are we not going to talk about the homecoming?
I just, I don't know. It's
Cosby's home. I mean,
Cosby.
uh,
Oh my God.
the Watson Brown homecoming game. Yeah, yeah, he didn't look good, guys. He looked like
No.
yeah,
He looked like he did not work out these last several months and was not prepared for this moment.
right. Like
Like,
everything.
what you
Apparently,
been doing?
Well, like all these pundits are like, yeah, he looks good. He's been working out. He's been at practice every day. Has he?
Who?
Has
Abby?
he?
Are you? Do
Was he
you? Are
passing out
you looking
water?
at the same dude?
Yeah, like
I
was he passing out
mean,
water?
hmm.
He's going
Yeah.
to the gym as much as I am, that's for sure.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Oh my
man.
heavens! Yeah,
Yeah,
ooh, that
it's
was
not. It was a rough start. It was a rough start. And the fans definitely gave it to him. So that was interesting to see. Yeah, yeah, we'll have to kind of see what plays out there. I'll be very interested to see how that
and
goes.
it's just I'm just like I can't believe it. Like if you were coming off of suspension for your ludicrous activities and actions that you were pegged for, at least, at least win over us twisted NFL fans with your ability to make plays happen. I mean, yeah, I just could not believe it. I just thought that he would have a stronger showing in his athleticism and in his performance as a leader, as in a
Hmm.
position where you were supposed to lead your team, than what he was able to do.
Right. And then off the field, I'll be curious to see what he does. Like we had a good conversation about Jerry Jones last week about like, okay,
Hmm.
what are you going to do moving forward? Not just on the field, but what are you going to do moving forward to, redeem your morality, like, win back
Right.
your goodwill that you had before, kind of, redeem yourself, for lack
Yeah.
of a better word. And I need to see what he's going to do. I'm very curious to. I watched a Shannon Sharp Michael Vick interview on Shannon Sharp's podcast. It's called Club Shay. And Michael Vick had some interesting advice for him, just kind of, because Michael Vick,
He
Yeah.
got he
went
got
through,
some
yeah,
experience, yeah.
he went through something too. So um, I would like to see. Hopefully, somehow that reaches Deshaun, and Deshaun makes the moves he's supposed to do to, be a man and kind of own up to being a leader like he should have been in the first place.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, that was a miserable game to watch either way, just as a product of football too. So yeah, it was interesting.
Man, crazy, crazy times going on for sure. All right, fantasy league update. Thanks, Raw, for knocking me out of the playoffs so
I
far.
won. I win.
It's all right.
I win.
We got one more week. I can reclaim my spot. It's possible, but
Potentially. Potentially.
right now it's you two and she who shall not be named, as well as I forget who else is up there with you guys now, in the playoff spot. So, Mr. Senior
Wait, is
Pappy
my
the
son in
Dubs.
there?
Yeah, you're in there. No, it's not your son. Your son's
No, is
actually,
my son.
huh?
I think he's
No.
in last,
He's in
didn't
last, or second to last. Yeah,
He's
he's in
five
second.
and eight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
sucker.
But did you see he beat me by like
Did,
5/10 of a point this weekend?
oh
Yeah.
no. Oh no.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, well, it's all right. You're still in the
Ah,
playoffs for now. You
for
know.
now.
Yeah, both Raw and my mom are the only people 100% locked in. So, Raw, you can take
Wow.
the week off. Congratulations. Um,
Yes, Raw. Feel free.
I think my quarterback. I'm in 6 leagues. I actually don't remember who's my quarterback in that one as we speak.
Right.
it's
There
in this one, it's Justin Fields, who's on bye week,
you
so you
go.
probably want to
Listen,
make that change.
You're good. Yeah.
my boy runs. My boy runs. I think I had to sub him in because something happened. I think I had Kyler Murray
You do
before,
have
right?
Kyler Murray. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kyler Murray
yeah.
was on bye week this last week. So, which
Right.
this is okay. This is me hopping on my soapbox and about the freaking extended schedule that we have now in the NFL. It's killing me these bye weeks, these late in the year bye weeks. One, it's
Hmm.
just not good for NFL players, but that's a whole different
Yeah.
discussion that we can go through. The other thing though, it's like because now, so our league still has another week of regular season because we only have 8 teams in it. But most leagues that are like, 10 plus teams are starting playoffs this coming weekend. And there's still bye weeks happening in the NFL. Now, I mean, okay, this is me, a fantasy football team manager, complaining about, bye weeks and how it's impacting my fake fantasy online pure existence team and all that stuff. But it's just nuts. Like, going forward now, it's like all these other leagues. I was talking to like the commissioners in mine, Rod, and Hung. I don't know about your other ones. So it's starting to extend the fantasy football league too, just to add on another week, so we don't have to be worried about bye weeks during playoff times.
Right.
It's
Well,
a
yeah,
it's a
I was gonna
headache.
say, isn't that something that you can edit though?
It
Like I
is,
thought we
yeah.
can. Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
I think it's just like everyone forgot that we were adding a game to the NFL schedule this year, so it
Yeah, that makes sense. That
yeah,
makes sense.
so something to definitely change, but man, yeah, in my money league, the only other league I'm in, I'm going to be missing 3 players for my playoff game, and that's gonna, it's not the end of the world by any means, but it's still just a absolute headache to think about. So we'll keep an update on that. This will be our last regular season game, week 13, and then after that, playoffs start. Just 2 semifinals and then a final. So Raw and Mom are in it so far. Hung, it's looking like you're pretty well set, assuming you don't lose this week. If you do, you're in. If you lose, you still have a chance to be in. And then me, I gotta win, and then hope some people lose. So fingers
It's on
crossed.
Billy's
Must-win
mom.
situation.
It's
Uh,
on Billy's mom. It's on.
Oh yeah, Raw and Mom are going to be in the final, dude. She's going to be here this week, so I'll make
Oh
sure
my
she
gosh.
knows, that she's paying attention. It's you're
So,
about to get beat by the Kansas City Beach Dogs over there.
oh my gosh. Right.
Breaks the cardinal rule of fantasy football and still just runs right in our league. I love it, man.
It be like that sometimes.
Be like that. All right, looking forward to week 14. Chiefs versus Denver. I wrote I'm nervous on here. I think the only reason I wrote that is because the Broncos haven't beaten us since 2015, I think.
Right.
But I don't know. Like it.
If it, yeah, go ahead, sir.
Oh no, it's just I think I'm nervous just because we're coming off of a loss, and so our weaknesses are quote unquote exposed and so on.
Hmm.
I have to remember it's the Denver Broncos we're playing against. I think we'll be okay. Just
Right.
with how I not just with the fact that Mahomes had been amazing against them, but also the fact that they're just absolutely atrocious this year. But man, if nothing smacks more like a trap game than this, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would normally agree with you. I would normally agree with you for a game like this. But the Broncos have been so bad. It's just no way to
But
me.
that's even more why, like, it's trap game mentality.
I guess, but yeah, and I get it. Trap game, any given Sunday. I don't think this team is not proven they could do it any given Sunday though. They can't even score a touchdown. Like they can't score a touchdown. Like if you could score,
This team couldn't show up under the Friday night lights against a varsity team in high school. So
yeah, like I don't know what's wrong with. It's actually, it was funny at first because I'm not. I can't stand the Broncos. I'm not a Broncos fan. I've always kind of liked Russell Wilson just from a work ethic standpoint, like just like the stuff he does to prepare. It's always been kind of admirable, but I'm a little concerned about him. Like, dude, you good? And meanwhile, somewhere Matt Ryan is laying in the cut, letting all the Russell slander go on.
He's so happy about it.
Yeah, no one's saying anything about his play, but
Right.
yeah, he does not look the same, and it is wild how stark of the contrast. And I know we're talking about week 14, but just to go back to week 13, we got to bring it up. We got to bring it up. I'm sorry, Hong. The man did it
Yeah.
again. Another fourth quarter comeback. I think
Oh,
most
yeah.
all time now. Thomas Nathaniel Brady, whatever his middle name is, he did it again. He did it again. Like most fourth quarter comebacks of all time. I keep, echoing in my head, first take, you think of Max Kellerman where he's like, some days Brady's gonna fall off a cliff. Now he ain't crisp as he used to be, but Matt Ryan fell off a cliff.
Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson took a nosedive off
They
a cliff.
fell off cliffs. Brady has not fallen off that cliff yet. I would even say Aaron Rodgers is kind of sliding off the cliff.
Uh-huh.
They haven't fallen like the way Russ and Ryan have. So it's a little, man, like it's kind of sad to watch because I do kind of like Russ, but as long as he's on the Broncos, I'm not gonna be too sad about it.
No, not at all. Especially with all the money he's taken from him too. Man, that's
Legal robbery,
legal robbery.
legal bank robbery.
I'm definitely super excited for this game, though. It's another 3 o'clock game, which I have officially decided this year, since we've seemed to have so many, is my least favorite time slot for football, because I feel like 4 o'clock is just the ideal Sunday nap time, and I can't do that when the Chiefs are playing. So
Right.
I really hope next year we get away from the 3 o'clock games. That'd really help me out personally. But it's fine, whatever. I'll tweet at Roger. We'll figure it out together. I'm sure he'll respond to me and won't block me or anything like that. I
I kind of love them. I kind of love them. It's like midday prime time. Like I do the red zone for the noon games, and then once the Chiefs come on, I'm locked in. 3:30.
ready to
Tony
go.
There we
Romo,
Nothing else
go.
is on.
get it.
It does make it a lot easier, I feel, for like people in the Midwest and the East Coast who don't um, live in a Chiefs market to watch Chiefs games,
Hmm.
which is nice for you all. And I don't know how it is out on the West Coast for you there, Hung, but I know my mom's definitely been able to watch a lot more Chiefs games this year, not just because of primetime games, but because of those 3 o'clock
Yeah.
games. And Raw, it sounds like it's the same for you. So, all right, I'll forgo
Yeah,
my
we get a
nap
little
just for
bit
you all.
screwed. So yes, you enjoy that. But yeah, we get a little bit screwed. We didn't the Chiefs Bengals wasn't even aired. I can't remember which game they chose to air here instead. Uh I
Oh,
think it
they
was the
aired it here.
14. Yeah. So yeah, so we miss out, when it's not prime time, of course. But yeah, I have my way.
And sorry, and not to go on another tangent, but can we talk about okay, last week, right? I know they flexed our game with the Broncos, rightfully
Mhm.
so. They flexed this Denver game out of prime time or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Yeah, I completely agree with that
Thousand
decision.
percent, yeah.
Come on, Colts Cowboys. That Bengals Chiefs game should have been the primetime game. That should have been the
Right?
primetime game. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, anyway, we could go on that all night. Week 14.
Week 14. No, it's so a 3 o'clock game. It's yet again disrupting plans I made on a Sunday, so that's fine. When they flexed it out. So whatever, it's
Hmm.
fine. Denver doesn't deserve to be in prime time, and I'm willing to make that sacrifice. All right,
They don't.
playoff clinch scenarios. Three teams can clinch this week. Both Vikings and Philly just need a win or a tie in order to clinch. So speaking of those ties, we got two opportunities for a title clinch. I would love it if both of them just did it for fun, and then didn't care for the rest of the year. But hey, and then the Chiefs actually have a chance to clinch. This is us clinching the division versus us clinching any kind of bye or anything like that. But as long as we win and the Chargers lose, we are locked in as the AFC West champions.
Once again.
I like it.
Unstoppable. So fingers crossed for that. It'd be great, of course, if we continue to work towards that number one seed. But hey, I'll just be happy for us to have a locked in playoff spot and go from there. I'm not gonna be mad about that whatsoever.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's get it. I mean, I think that'll be a good booster for the team too. Getting that clinch, especially after this tough loss. Just going in, handling business against Denver and getting that division clinch and hopefully LA takes the dive. I'm not sure who they're playing this week.
They are
Let's see if I can pull it up.
playing the Dolphins, so it's entirely
Oh,
possible.
yeah, absolutely. We didn't
Uh,
talk about them much this week, but they are
they're
good.
doing
We have to give them credit too. They're a good team.
yeah. And which kind of does feed into my next spot of I just this year it just feels like
Ted
every
Stoops.
vast well no the primetime games just every week there's three primetime games and I can't think of a single week this year where two or even all three primetime games were exciting. I'm so over them being primetime games. I'm like, okay, congratulations. I'm going to be watching something else. They're just I don't know what it is about the primetime slot this year, but it seems like most games are bad. That is, of course, excepting this week. Sunday night is, of course, the Dolphins LA Chargers playing. So that'll be um
Yeah.
that'll be a fun one to
Should
watch.
be, right?
Yeah. I will probably have that up on the iPad or on my second monitor upstairs while playing games. So I'm excited to watch that. Heavens knows I don't give a flying rats anything about the Patriots Cardinals on Monday night, and then don't even get me started about
Oh,
Thursday night of the Las Vegas Raiders versus the LA Rams. Both of those
Mm.
games just sound awful.
I think our primetime
Hmm.
game was good. Weren't yeah, us Chargers, that was primetime, right?
That was a
Chiefs
good,
Chargers,
yeah, that was a good one.
that was a good game.
I think that was the only good one. I feel like,
That
and
week,
that
yeah.
was like week two. It was so early in the season, and
Uh-huh.
that was it. Everything else has been highly questionable.
Yeah, it's just either it's a really bad game or it's just like the Cowboys Colts where something's dominant, you know. Um, and I get that like contractually and for just regular good old PR reasons, the NFL can't give, one team a bunch of primetime games. And that does suck.
Hmm.
I think they're capped at six total on the season. A team can only have six, which is why our game this coming week was taken out of prime time, is because the other game was flexed into prime time. So they had to take one out for us.
Yeah.
And
Side benefit of it taking the Denver
yeah,
Broncos out of prime time, but hey,
sure. And I don't know if y'all would agree about this being a good game, but that Raiders Chiefs game, I believe that was also a primetime game,
that
correct?
was I think so, yes.
I think it was a Monday night game, right?
Yes, that sounds right.
That's, yeah. I think, yeah.
Where the Raiders
October
lost in the
10th.
most Raiders way possible.
Yeah,
Just-
1 point loss, 1 point
and
loss.
by the receivers running into each other and not being able to
Yeah,
catch the ball. That's gonna stick with me forever. All right.
very, very
Other games this week, Jets Bills. I think that's one of my top games of this week for sure. Just for no other reason than it does have huge impact on not just the AFC East itself, but our ability to get a number one seed. Because if the Jets can pull this
right.
off, that pretty much makes us the heir presumptive there. I think.
Yep, yep. I agree. Hopefully they can do the thing. Do
Yeah,
the thing we need.
need
Uh,
Mike White to show up and shell out, man. It's just let's go. See it against the
Mike
Bills.
White, let's get it. Um, but yeah, and then you got Lions Vikings there. You're sold on these Lions, huh?
I really feel like they've turned it around, and not just because they had such a huge scoring game this week. What was it through the first 4 or 5 weeks of the NFL, they were the top scoring offense. They kind of
That is true. That is
they
true.
they kind of flubbed for a little bit afterwards, but it seems like the past couple of weeks they've really started to bring that back. They were amazing against the Bills on Thanksgiving. I'm still sad that they didn't win that game. I wouldn't go so far as to say they deserved to win that game and that they got cheated out of it by any means, but they just came so close. And then for them to for any NFL team to put a 40 burger up, it doesn't matter who you are or who you're playing against. That's still impressive. So this
Hmm.
week, with them playing against the Vikings, I think it should be a lot of fun.
Um, I sorry. I was looking at just kind of the games. Like a lot of them don't really move the needle for me, except for maybe that one. I am going to be keyed in on Miami, LA.
Hmm.
But then, yeah, just looking at some of these other matchups, like Baltimore Steelers, blah, Cowboys, Houston, blah, Cleveland, Cincinnati. That'd be interesting if Cleveland does what they did against Tampa Bay on
Which
Cincinnati.
I do have to give a shout out to the Cleveland defense special teams for single-handedly winning me my other league's game this week.
Oh my gosh,
Exactly.
how many points?
So oh no, this is where it gets really fun, right? Because not only in that league, obviously did the defense do really good, but we count kick returns and punt returns under individual players as well.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
had Donovan Peoples-Jones too, so
Hmm.
I had a really good week out of both of those. Really
Yeah, you
funny.
did.
And so Donovan Peoples-Jones got me 22.5 points, and then the Browns defense got me 31 points. That felt good.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
Because they had 3 touchdowns. The one that
Wow.
Peoples-Jones ran back, a fumble return for a touchdown, and then an interception for a touchdown. That was a good week. That was a good stream. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very happy about that one. Um,
Well,
Yeah, I
What's
would
that?
I would love to see the Browns beat the Bengals, but I'm not holding my breath, I don't think.
Anything can happen. Okay, anything.
Anything can happen. You said best of the rest. Like you said, I don't really
There
see a
is
whole lot
really
of
no lot.
best. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of other interesting games to me.
I think maybe we could say something Eagles Giants. Uh,
That will be interesting just because I mean I do still think the Eagles are better, like
yeah.
handedly better, but who knows? Giants could give them a fight. It is a divisional game. Yeah, could be. Are they playing
They're playing
in
in New Jersey,
East
so
Coast? Is this another miracle in the Meadowlands moment?
hmm. Well, and that's kind of like what's got me big on the Lions Vikings and maybe even big on the Giants Eagles. Both of them are divisional games. Both of them, one of the teams are playing to lock up a playoff spot. So like those other teams, but the Lions and the Giants are probably hungry as all get out to be like the
Hmm.
reason they delay both the Vikings and the Eagles from locking up that spot, right?
Right.
That gives you that extra little motivation, and it's the Lions and the Giants are both the ones hosting the game too, so it'll be in both Michigan and in New Jersey there. So I
There we
think
go.
it could be a lot more interesting than we think. Can't wait for the Vikings and Eagles to both spank them by 20 plus points.
Absolutely. Well, are we
Wow.
ready to give some predictions?
I think we do.
All right. I will say since I'm not with you in thinking we should be nervous. But I think maybe I'll be a little bit more conservative this week. So maybe I am a little nervous. I'm gonna say but listen, like they can't score a touchdown, okay? Like they really haven't been able to do that. I'm gonna say like 23-9.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 23-9
23
or
to 9. Okay.
24-9. What's that?
24,
Okay.
24,
Yeah,
round it up a little
24-9.
bit. All right, all right.
Yeah.
What do you
Billy,
got?
you next.
Me next? Okay. I'm going
Yep.
whole hog. I'm saying 44 to 3. I think we just I
I'm being
Decidedly love
nervous.
no, I'm incredibly nervous, and so I'm trying to hype myself up now early on and say 44-3. Their defense can't seem, or their defense is good, but our offense is better than their defense. And then I don't know, L'Jarius Sneed's going to have at least three sacks, and it's going to be awesome.
I love it. Hey, you can have some snacks too. That's
Yeah,
fine.
you can have some snacks.
I like it. I like it. I'm going to stick in the 40 burger myself as well. I'm going to go 41-9 Chiefs.
Man,
I'm not going to let the Broncos get out of that 9-10 single digit, double digit.
love this.
They can't
No
score.
touchdowns.
They can't score a
They
touchdown. I don't.
can't.
I have no faith. I mean, it's going to be a good game
They
for the
get three
kicker.
field goals. That's it.
Yeah. So anyway,
Gonna be
yeah,
great.
another interesting week of football. I wish we could say it was good. I wish we had gotten away with the W, but you win some and you learn some. So
Absolutely. It's
hopefully we bounce back from Denver.
yeah, that Vance and I mean I can't remember. Are we playing at home or is it away? This one.
It's away.
This is away.
We aren't home until Christmas Eve.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Let's
we're
see what-
playing at my company's field at Mile High, so that'll be a lot of
There we
fun.
go.
That'll be a lot of fun. A lot of my
Excellent.
teammates at work are based in Denver too, so I need us to just absolutely destroy them so I don't have to hear about it on Monday. Fingers
Extra
crossed.
Hmm.
incentive. Extra incentive. But yeah. Yeah, I think we can end it right there unless y'all got anything else.
No, quick and easy this week for sure, so I like that a lot. I got nothing else. No thoughts.
Well, Hong, where can they find you?
All right, doll. I'm on just about every, excuse me, every social media you can think about that's available and out there, but mostly active on Instagram and Twitter, especially on game days, of course, where I usually live tweet my thoughts and my feels during the game. But come along, y'all. Come along for the inspiration, stay for the light, the passion, the mom life, and definitely the football. It's my first and last name, by the way. HUONGFORREST Hong Forest. And Billy, how about you, my friend? Where can we stalk you and find you?
Yeah, best place to do it, of course, is just Twitter. At Chef Doobles up on the screen there, CHEFDOOBLES. I was just telling everyone earlier, I bought a new computer, so hopefully I'll be able to do a
Woo
little bit
woo.
better streaming because it's been suffering. So you can also find me on my YouTube, youtube.com/@ symbol Chef Doobles there. Feel free to subscribe, and then that way it'll let you know anytime I do go live streaming video games and just chatting. All right, Raw, how about you?
Absolutely. You can find me at on Twitter and Instagram at the Almighty Ra. Elon has not shut me down yet. You can also find me. You can find our page SOT Kingdom KC. So SOT Kingdom KC on Twitter. Find us on YouTube. State of the Kingdom. There's a State of the Saints. Apparently, I learned this week. We're not them. We talk about the Chiefs. And yeah, come join the fun. It's gonna be a good week of football. And we can't wait to see y'all next week. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs, go
Go
Chiefs.
Chiefs.